One single line of code almost cost Google billions of dollars. We're talking about Java, the programming language that powers countless applications you use every single day. But did you know Google's entire Android empire hung by a thread, caught in a legal battle that went all the way to the Supreme Court? Oracle claimed copyright infringement, arguing Google stole their intellectual property. Google countered with fair use. This wasn't just about money. It was about the very nature of software innovation and what creators can build on. In 2026, the implications of this landmark decision are still echoing. So, how did Google manage to crush Oracle's Java empire without actually owning Java? Let's trace the battle that redefined digital copyright. Every single day, billions of devices run on software powered by Java. From the apps on your phone to the complex systems managing global supply chains, Java is foundational. But what if I told you that a single line of code, replicated 11,500 times, almost cost one of the world's largest tech companies untold billions, and fundamentally reshaped the landscape of software development? On April 5, 2021, a pivotal decision by the United States Supreme Court concluded a decade-long legal battle that pitted two tech titans against each other: Google and Oracle. This wasn't just another corporate dispute. It was a showdown over the very nature of copyright in the digital age, with the potential to either stifle innovation or unlock unprecedented technological freedom. The implications of this case, often dubbed the billion-dollar race, echo across every startup and enterprise that relies on open-source principles. Before April 15, 2019, many viewed Java as a virtually free resource for commercial use. That perception shifted dramatically on what some in the industry now call Tax Day 2019, when Oracle began imposing a Java tax, fundamentally altering its licensing structure. This change alone has created massive ripple effects for countless organizations. Yet, years earlier, the dispute between Oracle and Google had already begun to define the boundaries of what could, and could not, be freely used in software. This is the story of how a software interface became the battleground for copyright law, leading to a landmark Supreme Court ruling that clarified, or complicated, depending on your perspective, the future of application programming interfaces. To understand the gravity of that 6-2 decision, we must go back to the origins of Java itself, and how Google's Android operating system came to use its code. 2021, the U.S. Supreme Court delivered a landmark 6-2 decision in Google LLC v. Oracle America, Inc., a case that had dominated the tech and legal worlds for over a decade. The origins of this dispute trace back to Google's ambitious endeavor to develop its Android operating system. To accelerate development, Google opted to utilize certain components of Oracle's Java SE Application Programming Interface, or API. Specifically, Google copied approximately 11,500 lines of Java API code, which, while seeming substantial, represented a mere 0.4% of Java's total code base. Oracle, having acquired Sun Microsystems, Java's original creator, initiated legal proceedings against Google, alleging copyright infringement over these Java APIs. This wasn't merely a dispute over code. It was a fundamental debate. The core questions at trial were whether software interfaces, like the Java APIs, were even copyrightable, and if Google's specific use constituted fair use under established copyright law. The stakes were astronomical, with Oracle originally demanding $9.3 billion. The legal journey, spanning federal courts and appellate circuits, would ultimately reshape understandings of software copyright, leading to a decade of legal battles and billion-dollar stakes. Interface, or API. This precise decision ignited what swiftly became one of the most significant copyright cases in tech history, a dispute that spanned over a decade and wound its way through multiple judicial levels. The protracted litigation between Google and Oracle was characterized by early legal rounds that saw mixed results. A federal jury in 2016, specifically in the Northern District of California, initially found in Google's favor, accepting its robust defense of fair use regarding the 11,500 lines of replicated code from Java SE. However, the legal landscape shifted dramatically in March 2018. The United States Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, in a decision penned by Judge Kathleen O'Malley, reversed the jury's finding, unequivocally rejecting Google's fair use defense and determining that the Java APIs were indeed copyrightable. This impactful ruling reignited the battle and set the stage for an appeal to the nation's highest court. The case garnered massive industry attention, with billions of dollars in potential damages and profound implications for software development freedom at stake, particularly concerning interoperability. The core question remained: could developers freely use foundational elements of existing programming languages, like Sun Microsystems Java, to build new, transformative technologies without fear of infringement? This fundamental tension became central to the legal arguments presented by both Oracle's legal team and Google's counsel, led by attorneys such as Robert Van Nest. California found Google liable for copyright infringement, a decision that sent ripples of concern through the tech community. However, this ruling was subsequently overturned, leading to a protracted legal battle that ultimately reached the nation's highest court. On April 5, 2021, the United States Supreme Court delivered its momentous 6-2 decision in Google LLC v. Oracle America, Inc., case number 18956. The court ruled decisively in favor of Google, determining that Google's use of Java APIs in Android constituted fair use under copyright law. Justice Stephen Breyer authored the majority opinion, emphasizing the transformative nature of Google's use and its immense benefit to programmers and developers worldwide. For instance, Justice Breyer highlighted that Google copied only approximately 11,500 lines of declaring Java code, out of millions, specifically the structure, sequence, and organization of the API, allowing over 3 million Android developers to create new, innovative programs and applications without having to relearn an entirely new programming language or system. This sweeping victory for Google effectively reversed the Federal Circuit's earlier ruling, putting an end to the decade-long dispute that began in 2010 and establishing a crucial precedent for the software industry. This decision fundamentally impacts how APIs, collaborative innovation, and future tech development will be approached, particularly regarding interoperability. Case number 18956. This ruling, a 6-2 decision, held that Google's use of Oracle's Java API constituted fair use under copyright law. This pivotal decision, rendered on April 5, 2021, solidified the principle that certain uses of software interfaces, particularly those essential for interoperability, can indeed fall under the fair use doctrine. The court acknowledged that Google copied approximately 11,500 lines of Oracle's Java API, but deemed this usage transformative and within the bounds of fair use, focusing on the interface declarations rather than the entire implementation code. This provided much-needed clarity on the copyrightability of APIs, which are the fundamental building blocks developers use to ensure different software and services can communicate seamlessly. Many in the IT industry breathed a collective sigh of relief, as the decision was widely seen as a significant victory for innovation. Had the ruling gone the other way, it could have created a chilling effect on software development, potentially preventing programmers from leveraging existing, foundational APIs without fear of immediate copyright infringement claims. This allows developers to continue building new, compatible systems, fostering an environment of interconnected technological progress. This outcome fundamentally reshaped Oracle's strategy regarding its Java ecosystem, a shift we'll explore next. While the Supreme Court case focused on Google's past use, Oracle had in fact already begun to significantly shift its Java licensing strategy well before the 2021 ruling. A key date in this strategic pivot was April 15, 2019, an event that became known in the industry as Tax Day 2019. On this date, Oracle effectively ended the era of free Java for commercial use, imposing new licensing requirements. Organizations that had relied on Java for years suddenly faced new costs and complexities. For example, the 2026 Oracle Java Audit Survival Guide, a document widely circulated among businesses, highlights the ongoing challenges companies encounter in navigating Java licensing and preparing for potential audits. This guide underscores that even after the Google loss, Oracle's focus remained firmly on commercializing its Java offerings. Oracle's Java SE support roadmap, which was most recently updated on April 2, 2026, continues to meticulously detail its tiered licensing and support structures, explicitly indicating a sustained commercial strategy for Java, irrespective of the outcome of its litigation with Google. This shift underscores how Oracle began to monetize Java more aggressively, anticipating future revenue streams. Ultimately, the Supreme Court's 2021 decision in Google v. Oracle transcends the dispute between two technology giants. It serves as a foundational precedent, clarifying the boundaries of copyright law in the context of software APIs, and critically, affirming the principles of fair use in a digital age. This ruling, which recognized the transformative nature of Google's use for interoperability, effectively safeguarded the innovative potential inherent in building upon existing platforms without stifling competition. It ensured that the tools for creating new technologies remain accessible, fostering a landscape where developers can innovate by connecting disparate systems, rather than facing prohibitive licensing hurdles for foundational programming interfaces. The implications for open-source development, cloud computing, and the very architecture of the Internet are profound, extending far beyond the 11,500 lines of code at the heart of this case. What are your thoughts on how this ruling might impact future software development and the growth of interoperable technologies? Share your insights in the comments below. To continue dissecting the complex legal battles shaping our digital world, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you found this analysis compelling, my breakdown of the legal implications of AI model training on copyrighted material is exactly the next thing you should watch. This video presents publicly documented information. It is for educational purposes, not legal advice.